Hi, this is Marilyn, and welcome to another lesson on Postworkshop Pro Edition. I'm sure most of you have already downloaded the free styles that I've put together. And I wanted to show you something now that is very cool about this, and it's that you can use your own Photoshop brushes in here. So I'm going to go over to, first I'm going to put one of my paints on here, and here I want this MS Painter. Okay, and it's going to go ahead and give me a preview. Now, when I come over here to Properties and Preview, you'll notice here that it's picked this brush, Paintbrush 2. That's the brush that's already in as a default. So to change the brush, go to Browse. Okay, and up comes the brush selector chart. Now, there's something very neat in here. You can render the preview. So this is showing the brush, and then if I go here, render preview, it's going to show me what it's going to look like, which means that we could test out a lot of different brushes. Now, all of these brushes are being used in this one painting, so it's not the same as a stamp, which in Photoshop brushes are actually a stamp. So I want to import my own brush. So I'm going to go to Import, and I've got a list of brushes. I'm already in the file, and I want to use these, K's Brushes 2 by K-Ness, and it's going to load it. And I'm going to leave everything set as the default here. Resize brushes during import. No, I don't want to do that. Resize, I do want to do that so that we'll all be the same size, and I'm going to just leave this one unchecked. I'm going to go OK. Importing brushes, says it's done. So you're probably trying to figure out where are these brushes. So let's come down here, and we're going to go to the uncategorized brushes, and we come down here and we're going to find K's brushes. I'm going to click on there, and it's going to load them up. And now see, these are all here. Now I unchecked this one already, so I want to show you, here's your preview. So you've got the preview done with K's brushes, and I want to go over to here because this will really make it clear what's happening. I've also unchecked these gray tones here because I felt they were unnecessary. But if I come all the way over to here, this is what I'm looking for. See, in the preview, you can see this little checks, the little dots here that are all showing. Well, I know that that is this brush. So I was looking for a brush to show you, a set of brushes, so that I could make this clear. If I unclick that, render the preview again, watch, those dots are gone. That's because I've told it don't use this brush. So every time you unclick a brush, you render the preview and you can see it again. I'm going to put that back on there. I'm going to click it back on again, and I'm going to tell it to render the preview, and you will see the dots are back. Now let's try another experiment here. Let's unclick more of these. Let's leave this one clicked. Let's unclick here. Let's just, I'm just arbitrarily unclicking now. So let's render a preview now. See, now we have a totally different look again. So every time you unclick these and it takes it out, it's going to change what it's doing. Now, I could conceivably only use one brush by unclicking all the brushes. Let's try another render preview. And now you can see that the dots brush is getting stronger and stronger. Let's go back over to there. Okay, let's unclick that and render the preview, and now the dots will go away and you'll be able to see brushes again. And I'm going to click OK, And now you can see here on the right that it's using what I've just set up. And here's my preview over here, so I can see exactly what I have. Now, of course, you can also change your brush size. You can change your opacities. So let's look at the number of strokes. Let's do something here with the number of strokes. Let's take this way down. And it should render a new preview here. When we take that down, see, it's working. Okay, I'm losing my mouse here. See, we took it down, and now we have less strokes, but we still have a very painterly look. And I'm going to take it down again. Come on. There it goes. Okay, and now you're starting to see the people's faces are actually showing through, because now there's not enough strokes to be covering the canvas. So we'll go back up, and we'll let it cover the canvas again. And there it goes. Okay, this is my mouse I'm having some problems with today. So this gives you infinite varieties of what you could be doing with working with the brushes. So you can load any of your own brushes. And I'm going to go back into that browser. And if you use anything that's sort of like funky brushes, like the hearts, you're going to end up with some really interesting things. One of the things I did was I loaded this trashy flowers. This was really interesting. You can see they're actually flower brushes, but look at the cool shapes and things. Now, I know I did this on a portrait, and I did it on purpose, doing this on a portrait, because you know that I would eventually put this into Photoshop in layers and use masks, and it would create all kinds of different looks. But I'm going to go ahead and go okay on this one and let it render this. But you saw those were just, you know, flower stamps. And let's zoom in. Look at the interesting markings here. I mean, it's really interesting. So you could come up with all sorts of your own original looks. Nobody would have them, because the choices you make are all yours, of course. So this would be a really interesting way for you to be working on your projects, is to be changing the brush sizes. So I think, and using your own brushes from Photoshop, which we all have hundreds and hundreds of them. So try this out, and remember, it's going to be under Properties. And I'm clicked on the picture here. I have to be clicked on the style for the brushes to show up again. Now, if you don't like this, here's the trick. You don't have to go find the original brushes. Trash it, go back to Styles, because the MS Painter has that brush built into it automatically, the default brush that I've put in there. So here it is again, Paintbrush 2. And of course we could make the changes here also, changing the number of strokes and the minimum maximum brush sizes and the brush opacity. So you really have a tremendous amount of options. And I want to remind you, when you're experimenting with all of these, use a low resolution so that you can really produce everything quickly. And then when you decide your setting and know what you want to do, go ahead and use the regular resolution photo. But in order to experiment and see these brushes quickly and fast, and to be rendering the brush in the brush selector, you really want to use something low res. And then later on you can decide what you're going to use and what you're going to keep. And remember, you can also save it as your own style. Even though this says MS Painter, you could go in, change the brush, and save it, and add to the end of this name something that named the brush. So you could have MS Painter Flowers, MS Painter Hearts, MS Painter Grunge. You could change whatever you would like to do, and you would just go into File, Save Current Style, and you would go ahead and fill everything out here, and you would just save it, and you'd have the new style. So I'm going to cancel out of there. So I hope this gives you a little bit more insight into more things of what you can be doing with Postworkshop. One other tip, if you are having any trouble with my styles working, please make sure that you are on the most current version. If you happen to have accidentally downloaded the 1.1 version, all you need to do is go to the Postworkshop site and log in, and you can go ahead and download. You can upgrade automatically. And I don't know if this, here, you would just go to help, check for updates, and it would take you over there. I'm going to give you the link to those brushes that I just used, the K's brushes. They are free download at the DeviantArt site, so look for that also for the link to it. Okay, I hope you're having some fun out there. Thanks a lot.